4 ways you can improve your emotional intelligence. I'm Lena K, and I empower people to maximize their potential and take their results to the next level. In this video, we're going to talk about the 4 ways you can improve your emotional intelligence. Now, before we get started, we have to establish the fact that mass society tends to act really emotionally erratic. Whenever there's, a news story or something happens around the world, you have a lot of people in masses just emotionally being very reactive. Okay, this is very, very different to being proactive or responding in a kind of higher consciousness, higher awareness state. And this is very dangerous to the individual and also to others. A lot of people take no ownership. They blame everybody else. They blame politics, they blame people, they blame groups, they blame, I don't know, whatever. But the problem is when you are pointing at someone, you have 3 fingers pointing back at you. This is what emotional intelligence is about. It's taking full ownership of the way that you feel. In this day and age, it's kind of cool to be offended. It's cool to get triggered with everything. And it's really not cool. It's really not okay to just let anything externally trigger you. That means you are mentally very weak. So if you weren't mentally weak, you wouldn't get emotionally triggered. Emotions are only created through chronic ways of thinking, or a thought that carries an emotional charge for you personally. It might not be true, but in your mind, this is what this thought carries, this emotional charge for you. So this is what emotional intelligence is about. It's about really taking power over your mind, over your emotions, over your life. Because you see, when you take ownership over your life, that means you've got to do something about it, because now you know that it's you that has the full power and control. So let's dive into the first step for you to improve your emotional intelligence. The first step is just to be awake and aware. Being consciously aware of your emotions means that you can identify what emotion you're feeling. You're not like entranced with it. You are fully aware of how you're feeling, whether that's positive or negative. You don't kind of judge either one as being positive or negative. Like, it's not a bad thing to feel a negative emotion if you're aware of it and you know how to get yourself out of it. And usually you're feeling a certain emotion because of your thinking. Yeah, it's thoughts create emotions. They're like cousins. So if you ever want to reverse engineer why you're feeling a certain way, you can always trace it back to your thoughts. It might require some reflection time, a few minutes or maybe longer for you to actually journal down where these emotions stem from, what you're thinking, what your beliefs, what's gone on here. So being consciously aware of your emotions is the first key to emotional intelligence, because you can identify it, you can reverse engineer it, and then once you're aware of it, you can change it. The second step is to decide to be proactive rather than reactive. Okay, animals are reactive. Like, we are supposed to have evolved so much more than a lot of different animals on the planet. We're supposed to be the most intelligent life form on the planet. So when you react animalistically, then you haven't really evolved that much in terms of your emotional intelligence. If you just react emotionally to anything external that happens to you in life, or what somebody says, what somebody did, what's happened in politics, in the world, whatever, your level of emotional intelligence is really low. Just observe people. Don't judge them, just observe. People are where they are, and they act from their level of consciousness. And so if you want to raise your level of emotional awareness, then you have to decide, no matter what happens, no matter what anybody does or says, I'm going to take full ownership. I'm going to be proactive, not reactive to any external situations, because nothing can get inside of me emotionally without my consent and my permission. And these days, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of people, they choose to be offended. They choose it. And that's just mental weakness, because if you weren't mentally weak, you wouldn't be emotionally erratic. The third step, which I've mentioned throughout this, is ownership. You are fully responsible for your life, for your thoughts, for your emotions. And something really wonderful happens when you take full ownership and you say, everything is my responsibility. It means you can change things. It means you have the ability to respond. Yeah, so respond to situations rather than just react to them. Step back when you see the masses behaving in a certain way, or this mass kind of ideas being portrayed by different groups. Step back. You don't have to identify with any of them. In fact, it's much better just to step back and observe, because then you really get the kind of helicopter view. You really get a higher perspective on things when you're not emotionally tied into any one tribe. So ownership means to stop pointing fingers no matter what's happened to you. Look, I've been through some traumas. If I was to blame other people, I would never get anywhere in life. In fact, my life only changed when I took full ownership. That's when it changed. It didn't change when I was blaming and shaming and all of that stuff. It doesn't change like that. Your life only gets better once you take ownership. So that means, you reflecting whatever happens to you, even if something hurts you, kind of taking a step back and just reflecting, being consciously aware and responding how you see fit, how you can choose how you respond to something in forms of, the best way for you. Not what anybody else expects you to respond or react like, but how you choose to respond. And that's really true power and ownership. The fourth step, and this is the most crucial step for you to increase your level of emotional intelligence, is to practice daily. This means on a daily basis, be aware if you're complaining. Be aware if you are reactive, if you get upset really easily, if you get upset throughout the day, be aware. And this really helps if you do morning routines. It will really, really help with this, because you'll start your day being consciously aware and awake and very present. When you're present, when you're starting off your day at such a high level of awareness, you can maintain that a lot easier than if you just, start your day through your alarm clock, waking you up, having a quick coffee, quickly getting dressed and rushing out the door. That's no life. That's no way to be. Take some time for yourself to be fully present and awake and aware in the mornings. Remember, if you want to master the game of self, you have to practice daily. The reason why elite football players and elite, athletes, they are elites because they practice daily. They can't become elite athletes if they just practice like once a week, once a month. They can't become elite. You become elite in this game of awareness, of emotional intelligence, when you take full ownership and you practice every single day being awake and aware and conscious, and knowing that you can choose how you feel. Nobody can make you feel something without your permission. So if you like this video, I would really appreciate if you gave it a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, please do subscribe. It really helps me to grow the channel. And leave a comment. Let me know what you think of this video. It really helps me to know what kind of stuff you guys like. And if you want to explore deeper in terms of emotional intelligence, I invite you to join just the best mastermind club in the whole world, which is the LK Club. You can start on a 30-day money-back guarantee. It's only $37 a month. And this is for you to get access to thousands and thousands of dollars worth of training for like a fraction of the price. You get to mastermind with me and the group members every single Sunday. We also have a live Q&A virtual coaching session every Wednesday inside our private Facebook group. You get like a whole portal, I call it the hub, of trainings on your mindset, on confidence, on emotional mastery, on consciousness, on spirituality, on building a business. We've got meditations in there, we've got goal setting in there. Everything you need to transform your life, make this your best year, is inside the club. And I'll put some information down there for those of you that are ready to work with me. This is the next best thing to having me as your personal coach. And so I'll leave the information down there, and I look forward to welcoming you inside my inner circle. Until next time, you guys, lots of love and light and magic to you all. Stay awake, stay aware, and choose your emotions. Don't let external circumstances or people choose them for you.